Hey everyone, I'm Danny and welcome to Muggle Magic. If you're new to the channel, I do reviews on Harry Potter products. I do news videos for Harry Potter when it's relevant. I also mostly do DIYs for Harry Potter related things. And I also give away everything that I make on this channel. So every single DIY I do, I give away. And I do one DIY a week most of the time, and I try to post them on Fridays. Sometimes it ends up being on a Saturday, but I really shoot for Friday when I can. So every single week I host a new giveaway for my subscribers. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to customize the Ministry of Magic files that I uploaded a few videos ago. A lot of people have been requesting for me to do a tutorial on how I customize this, how to put your photo in there, how to put your information in there with like a typewriter font. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to give you the Photoshop files, the templates, and then you can go ahead and bring them into Photoshop if you have Photoshop. If not, you can download GIMP, which is a free alternative to Photoshop. It works very, very similar, and it can open Photoshop files and you'll be able to edit them, no problem. But if you do have any questions, definitely let me know in the comment section below. I am always reading the comments, and if you need help, I will answer. So go ahead and download the free templates from the link in the description box, and let's get started on the tutorial. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is download the Photoshop tutorial files that I've provided a link to in the description box. And this should be a zip file. Go ahead and open this up, and on the inside you're going to see 3 folders. We'll have fonts, PSD, and stamps. Let's go ahead and just extract all 3 of these folders onto our desktop. And the very first thing you need to do is open up the fonts folder here, and then you want to install all 4 of these fonts. So just open up the zip folder for the font, and inside you'll have a few different files. What you want is the .ttf file. Double click on that, and then you'll get a window that looks something like this, and simply click install. And now we can take a look in the Photoshop folder. So these are all of the Photoshop templates that I have for you, and I'm not going to go over every single one of these because a lot of it is would just be redundant, but I will go over a couple of these files. So first of all, let's go over the Muggle-born registration. So let's pull this into Photoshop, or GIMP if you're using GIMP, that it should work as well. And Photoshop is laid out so that all of your tools are right here along the left. GIMP should be the same. And over here on the right, we will see our layers panel. And these layers, just think of them as different sheets of paper stacked on top of each other. So this is the very back layer, so that would be the bottom of the stack, and then they just stack on top of each other. And basically these would be transparent sheets of paper with text or artwork or whatever you're doing to the layers on them. So you'll see through to the other layer. To show you what I mean, we'll take a look at my name. You can see it says Danny McMurray right here under name. So that is right here. This is the Danny McMurray layer. So if I go ahead and grab my move tool right here, you can see that I can kind of just move this around and it stays on top of the background layer. If I were to move this below the background layer, which I can't because it's locked right now, I'll go ahead and unlock that just to show you. So if I could pull this below that background layer, actually I'll pull the background layer above. Yeah, that worked better. So you see my name disappeared because now it's beneath this background layer. So just keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you have them in the right order. Anything that you pull in, and I'll show you what I mean in a moment, you want to be on top of all the text. So each one of these is a text layer, and you can see all the text right here on the template. So let's grab our text tool from over here, and then we can click into any of the text here. The check box right here is going to basically mean you're done editing text. So once you do that, you get your little text mouse cursor again. So I can click in on any of this text and edit it. So if I wanted to edit my name, I would just go ahead and select all of that and go ahead and change it. And then click the checkbox. So now I've changed the name, and you can do that on any of this text at all. And if you want to move the text, like over here it says offspring, if you want to move this checkbox, or I'm sorry, that X mark, you can go ahead and select the move tool from over here again, and then make sure that you have the right layer selected. To do that, you can toggle the view of it on and off just to be sure, which is what this little eye icon does. So if I click it, you can see that that X over here disappears. That way you know that's the right layer. And then you can just grab it and pull it over to this side if you want, or pull it down here. And if you need both of these boxes right here X'd, you just need to find where this one is. Another good way of finding where the layer is just clicking into it with the text tool, and it automatically selects it over here. And then you can just click the check box right there and then hide that one layer. And then we'll go back to the X layer because we know that's the right layer. And then you can click and drag it down here to this icon here that looks kind of like a little folded page of paper, and let go, and it'll create a copy. What that icon is, if you hover over it, you'll see it says create new layer. So if I clicked that by itself, it would just create a blank layer right there, but we don't want that, so I'll just trash that. But yeah, if you click and drag and drop a layer right there, it will duplicate it. So now I have two X's on top of each other right here. So I'll grab my move tool again, and then I can move that X down here, and now both of them are X'd out, which wouldn't be the case for Arthur Weasley. But anyways, yeah, that was just to show you how that works. Now, let's go ahead and open up the stamps folder. Now inside this folder, you will see a bunch of different stamps that I have provided to you. We have a ministry certified stamp, a ministry registry stamp, Mudblood, Muggle, 2 different colors of runes stamped, and then a tracked stamp. So let's go back to Photoshop, and I want to put this ministry certified stamp on this file. So if I just grab it and pull it in, there we go. It has now come in a new layer. You can see the new layer right here. It's already automatically selected, and I can click and drag it wherever I want it to go. So let's just say I want it down here. And once I'm done positioning it, I can click the checkbox, and there we go. Now we have it stamped. Oh, and the way I am kind of panning around the image like this is I'm just holding the space bar, and it turns my icon into a hand. So now I can kind of click and drag around wherever I want to view on the file. So now we're gonna put something in here for blood status. Let's go back to our stamps, and right here you can see we have Mudblood and Muggle. So you can just grab and pull one of those in. We'll do Mudblood right here, position it, and click the check. Now you have your blood status there. The tracked stamp is actually down here for security status. You can just do the same thing, pull the tracked stamp in there, put it where you want it to be, about right there, and click the checkbox, and you're done. If you're not happy with the angle that this is sitting, either one of these are sitting, here are all of our stamps. So we have the ministry certified. Here's the Mudblood stamp. So if you wanted to kind of change how this one is sort of positioned, you can go to Edit and click Free Transform, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Control+T, or if you're on Mac, that would be Command T. So let's do Control+T, and as you can see, we get this box around it. And if you hold your mouse outside the box, it's like a bent arrow there. So you can just rotate it however you want it to be. Let's say we want it to be kind of like that, and then click the checkbox. And that should be enough to get you started on the MUGGLE Born Registration Commission document. Another thing a lot of people were asking me is how to customize the ID card and also the photo card that came with these files, because they can put their photo in, but then the problem was the stamps were on below the photo and they wanted the stamps on top. So I'll show you how to do that. So here's the photo card, and this is going to work the same for the ID. You can see that this is the photo layer, and what this is on this side of the photo layer is called a layer mask. So I've masked out all of this stuff around there. If I can disable this and show you, now my photo is just a bit too big. So I've created this layer mask to hide that outside part. So you don't want to mess with the layer mask at all. So don't have it selected. You want to have the layer itself selected. But we're going to hide this photo right now because this isn't the one we're going to use. I actually have just an example photo which I'm going to use. I'm going to pull it in, and if I drop it up here, it'll open in a new tab. So we have Arthur Weasley, and I'm going to prep this photo to use on the photo card. So basically what I want to do is make it look black and white and grainy and kind of old. To do that, it's pretty simple in Photoshop. I'm not sure about this in GIMP, so you may want to just look up a tutorial on how to make a black and white photo in GIMP. So in Photoshop, we're going to go to Image Adjustments, and then we're going to choose black and white. And then just click OK in this dialog box. And now we've changed it black and white. Now we can go to Image Adjustments again, and we're going to go to Levels. And what this is going to do is allow us to drag these three arrows around to change the levels of the darks, the whites, and then the blacks, the whites, and then the grays, which is the middle one. So if we want to make the photo look older, it might be a little, the whites might be a little overexposed, and the blacks might be a little darker. Something like that. And if that's a little too dark for you, you can always drag the midtones around here. So I'm just going to put it somewhere, maybe a bit like that. Click OK. And then we'll go into Filter, Noise, and then we're going to click Add Noise. And what that's going to do is, you can see here, you can see a preview of it. It makes it look a bit grainy. So you can change the amount, make it as grainy as you want. I like to kind of have this window over here so I can see the actual full-size image here. But yeah, you can just make it kind of grainy. I think I'm just going to leave it about like that. That looks okay. So now this photo is ready to put on the ID card. So I'm going to use my selection tool and select the entire photo. And then I'm going to hold Control and click the C button, which is copy. So I just copied that whole image. And then I'm going to go in here to the photo card and hold the C key again, and then click V, which is paste. So now I've copied and pasted Arthur's photo right here. Now you can see it's way too big for the image. So what we're going to do is scale it down. But before we do that, I want to get this layer mask onto this new photo. And that's as simple as clicking and dragging it up and dropping it on the layer. So now everything outside this, where the black is here, you can sort of see a little white box. Everything outside of that white box is hidden. So now if I, right now I have the layer mask selected. So if I select the actual photo layer here, and then I hold Control and click T for transform, or you could also, like I said before, go to Edit and Free Transform. Now you get this binding box again. And what we want to do is sort of crop him in where we want him to be. So I can click this, any of these boxes to resize the image, but you want to click and hold Shift and then drag. because that will maintain the proper aspect ratio and not stretch or distort the image. See, if I do it without holding shift, you can see I can just do whatever I want. But if I hold shift, it looks right. So there we go. That looks good. Click the checkbox and Arthur Weasley is now on this card. And then we can go in here with our text tool, change this to Arthur Weasley. Click the checkbox. Now you might want to change the identity number to something that you want to use, but that is how you change the photo. Now you should understand how the stamps go at this point because we used them before, but we'll just go ahead and go over it one more time. We'll go ahead and pull the Ministry Certified stamp in here because that's one we're going to use, and look at that, we can't see it. That is because it is in a underlying layer below the photo. It's on this layer, we need it above the photo. So let's just go ahead and click the checkbox and then pull it up above the photo. And now you can see it's above the photo. Click the move tool and then put it wherever you want it to go. If you want it over here, we'll just stick it right there. We'll go back to our stamps, pull in this green stamp here, and we'll drag that over here. And I also want to maybe rotate it a little bit and click the check. There we go. Now we have our stamps right above the photo. Now I think that pretty much covers everything that you need to know about editing these templates. So you can just take what I've given you so far and just use these same techniques with all the different files. But what we do need to go over is how to save this into a format that you can print. So we're just going to go to File, Save As, and then we are now in our in the desktop folder where all the Photoshop document files are. So you can maybe make a new folder, call it Templates, and then we'll open that up and you can save it as whatever you want. This is a Photoshop document here, so I would save it as a JPEG or maybe a PDF right here. We have a PDF or a JPEG. For this video, I just kind of showed you guys how to customize these. I didn't really make anything to give away, so there won't be a giveaway for this tutorial, but keep an eye out for my next DIY video, which should be coming up next week. Remember, I get a lot of ideas for these DIYs that I do from your comments. So if you have an idea for something that you want to see me do in the future, definitely leave a comment below and let me know. If you're interested in seeing more DIY videos having to do with Harry Potter and more, go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.